Hello, and welcome to another RANGROO's Unit of the Week. And today we are taking a look at the BTR-ZD SKREZHET for the Soviet Union. So in 1969, the Soviet Union released the BMD/1, not the BMP, but the BMD, which was its airborne counterpart. The whole idea of this was to kick out an airplane, parachute to the ground, boom, you got armoured support behind enemy line with your paratroopers. But there was one big problem with the BMD. Even though it had pretty good firepower, it could only carry up to 3 to 4 troops, which wasn't all that much, pretty abysmal for an armoured personnel carrier. So in the mid-70s, the Soviets came up with the BTR-D, a smaller profile but longer version of the BMD. It lacked a turret, but it could actually carry a full squad of infantry. Now, they came up with an AA version of it called the Skrezhet, the unit that we're talking about this week. And simply put, it's a BTR-D with a 23mm autocannons strapped on top, literally like strapped on top, bolted on there. And instead of carrying standard regular rifleman squads, the whole idea was that the Skrezhet would carry manpad squads, 2 manpad teams to be precise, with a bunch of ammunition to be mobile AA support. And that's really it. In game, the BTR-ZD SKREZHET is a 15-point Soviet infantry fighting vehicle with Rail 2 weapons available to it. Now, its first weapon available to it, even though it is technically 4 weapons, is 4 PKT machine guns with 4,800 rounds of ammunition, 800 ground range, 500 helicopter range, 10% accuracy, 5% roll on the move, 0.5 HE, and a rate of fire of 1,118 rounds a minute. Now, this is actually better than most other APC's machine guns that you get like M113s and BTRs, due to the fact you got 4 of them, so you get a lot of rounds down range awfully fast, and it's not too bad at dealing with enemy infantry units compared to other machine guns. And secondly, we got the ZU-23-2, which is 2 23mm autocannons with 2,000 rounds of ammunition, a range of ground of 1,050 meters, helicopters of 2,450, and airplanes of 1,750, 10% accuracy, 5% while moving, 1 HE, and a rate of fire of 472 rounds a minute. Overall, a rather decent autocannon platform. It does a pretty damn good job against helicopters, but against ground targets and airplanes, it is rather lacking in the range department. Also, its accuracy is, well, it's rather inaccurate, with only 10% chance of hitting, so you're going to have to get a lot of rounds down range to well hit anything. And if we just pop down to its miscellaneous stats, it's got 2 front armor, 2 on side, 1 on back, but they couldn't afford to put any on top. 10 HP, a small size, poor optics, 60 kilometers off-road, 110 on-road. It has poor stealth, 400 litres of fuel with 500 kilometers of autonomy. It's also amphibious at 30 kilometers an hour. Year restriction is 1975, so you can really bring it in all year type decks, and its type restriction is limited only to airborne. In game, the Skrezhet is a interesting IFV choice that you can bring up as the Soviet Union. Honestly, it's not the best run that you can get. The BMP2, BMP3s, and BTR-ATAs really contend for that spot. But for 15 points, you get something rather different and honestly rather fun. You get a AA APC that's good for dealing with enemy helicopters. It's usually not enough to kill them by themselves unless they get extremely close, but just enough to stun them up and mess up their day a little bit. And with the quad machine guns, you can really put down a lot of suppressive fire on enemy infantry, and also the Zu autocannon can help with that. The vehicle does definitely have quite a hindrance when dealing with enemy IFVs and pretty much enemy armor. Even though it has 2 autocannons, they only do 1 HE power, no AP whatsoever. So dealing with, M113s and pretty much anything with the slightest bit of armour can be rather hard to deal with. But what makes this unit my unit of the week mainly is the infantry options that can be brought along with the Skrezhet. You can bring up pretty much all Soviet support squads in this APC, from AA, AT and flamethrower guys. You can bring in Spetsnaz and VDV infantry squads in the Skrezhet as well. Now, for personal choice, I like bringing up Iglas and Igla Ns in my Skrezhet, because an Igla is only 15 points, so overall the cost per unit is only going to be 30. And for 30 points you get twin auto cannons, which are good with dealing with enemy helicopters and stunning them up, and quad machine guns for clearing out enemy infantry, and also you get a very nice man-pad unit. So really they complement each other very well, because the Skrezhet can stun up the helicopter or plane, and the Igla can fire the missiles and get the kill. And this is a really wonderful 1-2 punch to see in action. They're also bringing them up in other squads. Spetsnaz maybe not so much, because you kind of want the speed to get the Spetsnaz in the town first. And Spetsnaz is Spetsnaz, they don't need any support. VDVs are rather a good choice. Most other support squads as well. I think flamethrower guys definitely benefit a lot from being brought up in a Skrezhet, mainly just due to the infantry clearing capabilities that its APC has. But yeah, paired up with a man-pad infantry squad, the Skrezhet definitely kicks a lot of ass. A very nice 1-2 combo, and that's really what makes this unit my unit of the week. And well, that's all I have time for. This has been another RANGROO's unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.